And now, WolfBytes Open Mic.
The Bass Jackers.
I just came home actually from tour.
Hey guys, this is Phoenix Paul.
Hey, what's up? This is Sean Frank.
WolfBytes DJs and your favorite artists.
Sophie Francis. Sophie, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, it's super nice to join you guys.
What's up, guys? This is Ahmed Van Buren.
Now, Open Mic.
Hi, welcome to another WolfBytes Open Mic. I'm Brooklyn, and today I'm being joined by Warren. Hi, Warren. How's it going?
No, all good.
No, I heavily stalked you on your Instagram.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie about it. And so therefore I have a really big question.
Yeah.
On exactly April 14th in 2019, you
Okay.
posted a picture where you met Lewis Capaldi, and I would love to know the story behind it.
Yeah. That one was basically he was playing a show in Dublin where he was actually a support act for an Irish band called
that's
Picture
cool.
This. And it was like Picture This would be like very popular in Ireland. They had just done 5 nights, I think, in like the biggest arena in the country kind of thing. And to be fair, Lewis Capaldi was definitely like blowing up at the time, so he was probably as big as them, but was still the support act. And yeah, that was just after the last show, I guess. It was in a bar in Dublin. Me and my best mate were there, and they all were like having their kind of like rap party. So yeah, that was to be fair, he didn't really know anyone at the time that was also at the party, so he ended up joining us for a little bit, and yeah, had lots of Guinness, that kind of thing.
That's so cool.
And now obviously he's like one of the biggest acts in the world now. So
Yeah.
2019, I'm sure he's long forgotten. Or 2018,
Well,
whatever
you
year.
never know. You never know.
Yeah.
No, I was just like, I'm gonna find something really random on his Instagram. Let me scroll to the very bottom. It's like,
To be fair, yeah, my social media in general needs to be kind of improved, I guess.
hey, if you ever need help, that's literally my job.
Nice.
Literally my
Yeah.
job. It's what I do.
Yeah,
But
it's
no,
just
tell
the
me
struggle
more
for
about him. Go ahead.
it's just the struggle, I guess, for a lot of producers, I would say, because you're
yeah.
so used to kind of being on your own with just you and a laptop. It's hard to then find ways that are different and creative of getting the music out there. So yeah, the ones who do it well, the benefit, everyone sees the benefits of it. So it's worth the effort, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I personally just love to doom scroll my time away, and so I decided to go to school for it.
Yeah.
So now
No,
I'm in school, so I can get paid to do versions of doom scrolling later. And
yeah.
so I like social media. I like to play around, but I think it's really fun to see how different people post on their social media, especially when you're kind of producing your own music. Is there anything you've learned, I guess, not to do since you're still kind of experimenting?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely trying to like not make it look like a kind of sales pitch, if that makes sense. Like I still definitely end up falling into the trap, but where you're only posting when you've something to promote, and it's like, there's always a link to redirect them to like stream or whatever. So I'm trying to kind of more like get my personality and my kind of life across in like a more regular day-to-day kind of style, where the music almost is like isn't the main focus of every post and every story, and it can kind of be promoted indirectly, I guess, by whatever, soundtracking a load of random video clips I have on my phone, or just posting gigs that I go to so people have an idea of music that I like and things like that. So yeah, trying to be less salesy, because I feel like once people see like stream, download, buy, they're kind of
Skipping it.
yeah, they're not as committed, or you know what I mean. They're not as interested. They don't want to be sold to when they're doom scrolling, as you say.
Yeah, as a Gen Z, the Gen Z attention span is non-existent.
Yeah.
I get made fun of a lot because my favorite TikToks are the Subway surfers with a Reddit story over top. So
Yeah.
I'll just sit there for like 3 hours, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this fake person who doesn't exist, who I can't see because I'm watching Subway surfers, is talking about this crazy story, and everybody here makes fun of me for it all the time. 'Cause I
No, I
like
feel like yeah, I mean, the internet has a niche for everything, so everyone will find their audience and their people through it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always fun to find what your niche is too. Like, obviously, outside of, this is my music, like when you're posting your social media that's not about your music, you can always find your little special niche. Do you get
Yeah.
readies with me?
Yeah, I know, yeah. That would be a bit of a step out of my usual my usual content. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I do love my fashion, so it could
Right?
be worth it's funny, like I follow outside of music, a lot of my like TikTok feed would be like fashion and clothes, and so yeah,
That's cool.
not something I've ever tried myself, but like I will screenshot color combinations that I see, or like new brands that I think look cool, and yeah,
Wait, that's
that sort of thing.
awesome.
I mean, I feel like that's like a huge industry itself, and it kind of it links, a lot of musicians are big into fashion and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the creative industry in general. You always like to, yeah, just feel like you're one step ahead of everyone.
No, I get that.
So,
Is there a specific, I guess, designer or color combo that you're favoring right now?
um, not like no one in particular. I mean, there's an Aussie guy, I actually can't, Eric, I can't remember his surname, but I think he's like has his own brand called Bound, and they had some like unreal knitwear for the winter. So it'll be interesting to see how they switch it up for the summer. But people like that, it's kind of almost like influencers, but who are in the fashion world that you just randomly come across, and obviously the algorithm can tell that can tell that you're into their stuff.
Yeah, no, that's really fun. I would have never like thought about that at all, just in general.
Yeah.
Which I think too, y'all's fashion industry is a lot more niche and more popular than ours is. I mean, I
Yeah.
get
I
away with
mean,
wearing pajamas every day, and I swear I get more compliments on my pajama pants than I do when I try. So I think
yeah.
our fashion industry just kind of doesn't exist sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm originally from Dublin, but I've lived in London now for like over 3 years, and I've definitely noticed the longer I've been here, the more I've like, just my wardrobe has changed a lot, I guess,
Oh
and
yeah,
you're
for
kind of
sure.
just more willingness to try new fashion, new looks or styles, just because you see so many more people out and about wearing clothes that you think are nice, and then you obviously try copy them in some shape or form.
I'd be broke.
Yeah, well, that's the other flip side
Be
of
like,
it. Yeah,
oh, I'm gonna buy that right now.
yeah,
And I would
yeah,
do that 10 times a day and I'd just have no money.
yeah.
What made you want to move to London? I mean, obviously, I've not been to Dublin or London, but I'm always looking up when should I move out of the country and go to Dublin? And
Yeah.
I just,
I mean,
what made you
Dublin
want
is
to move?
like if you're gonna go from the States, I guess Dublin, you have to fly over it either way. You might as well stop to Ireland in some shape or form.
Right?
Um, and even if you were to go to Ireland, Dublin is just one great part of it. Like Cork and that, the other side of the country from Dublin is like equally as nice, if not nicer. But yeah, I think I just always had lived in, yeah, I'd never really moved anywhere else long term, and visited a friend over in London for like a weekend a couple of years ago, and yeah, just randomly was sitting on the plane home being like, I should move over here, or over to London. And so maybe like, yeah, a month or two later I was packing up.
Oh my
But I
God.
mean, I had plenty of friends who had already moved, like friends from home, friends from university. And obviously music, there's such a good music scene here. There's kind of every genre, every niche, and yeah, it kind of just seemed like the perfect place to be for the time of my life. So yeah, it was an easy decision, but yeah, love Ireland, but also equally love living here for what the music side of it and everything, all the opportunities, I guess, and the people involved in music that are over here.
Yeah, I mean, dream come true for sure. I think that's really fun. I can't believe you figured out where you were gonna live and were able to plan it out in less than a month.
I mean, it's easy because there's like no visa requirements.
Oh yeah.
Like Ireland and England have a sort of like you can just move freely, thankfully. And yeah, my sister had already lived here, so I kind of, when I first moved, I was able to stay with her for a little while while I figured
Okay,
out
that's
where
really cool.
exactly I wanted to be based and that kind of thing. So it was, yeah, a lot of luck and things that worked out nicely at the time that obviously not everyone would have the luxury of.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out for you because that sounds super fun.
Well, yeah,
I
so
had no
far so
idea
good. I
you didn't
don't.
need a visa. I always knew we
No,
were
you
all on
do.
the
Yeah,
same
you would
continent.
from the States and from like Australia and places like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, just lucky in in my
that's so
position.
fun. I always knew they were on the same continent, but it just never occurred to me that you don't need a visa to kind of go across since they're kind of touching. That's really
Yeah,
fun. I'm
yeah.
really just kind of asking you travel questions at this point.
No, it's stuff I
Sorry, we
haven't
can
thought
get
about
back on
myself, to be
track.
honest.
No, so as I was looking through all your music, again, as I do, in my little stalking before I do my little podcast interview or whatever you want to call it. I call it stalking. It might
No,
sound
all
kind of
good.
bad, but I think it's funny. I also
Research,
like was
research.
listening to your first ones that were on Spotify, and I couldn't figure out because sometimes, at least on my end, and it might just be because my phone's broken, but the order that the songs were released sometimes kind of flip-flop almost. So I was wondering if you could tell me about, I guess, your first remix that went viral.
Well, the first remixes would have been like kind of in the SoundCloud days. So they
Okay.
would have been like, yeah, 10 plus years ago, maybe. I think my first song on Spotify is from 2018, which was the first original song I ever made. That was like my first time working with a vocalist and things like that, because I felt like up to that point, I was focused on remixes because it kind of gives people a reference point of, like if you remix a big Calvin Harris song, at least everyone is going to know what the original sounds like, so they'll know how you changed it, and they're also more likely to listen because they might be like, oh well, at least I'll know the words to it. I won't have to think about the production that much. So yeah, it was all remixes at first, and then yeah, slowly started getting into originals more and more. So I think, funnily enough, my first ever original is my most streamed on Spotify. And it was released like without a label. I think I actually got it so wrong when I like was trying to submit it to Spotify that I like backdated it, so it didn't really have a release date because I had like it came on Spotify like 2 weeks after I wanted it to be there.
Huh.
Um, so yeah, through my own fault. But anyway, that
I
was
mean, if it's your most listened to song, and I
yeah,
think you're right that it is because I was looking through it today and it was a lot of a like older date than all of the other ones.
yeah, yeah. Then I kind of started to like reach out to labels, I guess, around that time, and that from then it was kind of, the timeline is obviously like you work with the label and you work with their release schedule as opposed to my own, so it was maybe like a bit sporadic around the early couple of releases.
Okay, that's really cool. I like that a lot. I was when I was doing my, I guess, research, because we listen to your music a lot on our station, but I like to know teeny tiny details because that's
Yeah,
fun for me. I like to chat. I'm in communications for a reason.
yeah.
Um, I accidentally was like listening to a panel of speakers the other day. I was working it, just taking photos, and he said, "Yeah, in communications, I really love to," and I said, "I love to chat," and it was meant to be in my head. It
It
wasn't.
came out in real
It
life.
really, it really just came out, and it came out really loud. And he said, "Yes," and I said, "Oh no." I'm sorry, let me just go right back behind my camera and take my pictures. Um, but yeah, so I like to chat and I like to know all of the details. And so I kept, looking up your name on Google and it kept pulling up Americans. And I said, no. And so I started doing Warren EDM and it still kept trying to pull up Americans. I said, okay, okay. Keith Warren, Dublin EDM. Did you mean Keith Warren who got famous from this hunt and fishing show, and I was like, I know that's not
I have seen that guy because,
right.
yeah, I
That
have
can't be
sadly
right.
Googled myself.
And so I like clicked on it and I was like, maybe this guy really loves hunting and fishing and was on a TV show and I'm really dumb and I don't know about it because I don't watch those shows. And it's just this like old guy who's not you at all. But I thought that was really funny because it was just like, this, you mean this American? And I said, no. But yeah, it was really fun learning kind of what at least the internet says about how you got started
Yeah.
and hearing it
Well,
a
I mean,
little
it's
bit
the
differently.
whole, it's like the whole, when you're picking your artist name, it's obviously right at the very beginning, and you don't really think 10 steps ahead of what, when you're like a teenager doing it at the time. So yeah, I just went with my surname
Yeah.
and dropped the Keith, but then like Warren is kind of also a first name, I guess, in a lot of countries and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's not going to be top of Google's page one results. I don't think you need to get into the weeds of it to find my music links, I guess.
No, it's okay. The fact that you need to get into the weeds of it and you're still getting like 50,000 plus or 500,000 plus monthly listeners on Spotify.
No, it
I
is 50.
really think should say even more if you're like saying you have a lot of trouble finding your music when you search your name and then it's like, yeah, but this many people are listening. That's
Yeah,
not
I think,
cool.
yeah, there's always room for more though.
Hey, you got time.
Yeah, yeah.
Take some time. Okay, am I right in, because I know there's a beer garden in Raleigh. I obviously don't know if there's one down there. Were you in Raleigh a couple of months ago?
No, is that in America?
Yeah, it's where I live right now. And I saw it, you were tagged in a post and it said
Oh,
like you were gonna be at Beer Garden and I think it was this last December 13th, so Taylor Swift's birthday. And this is how I remember things. And I was like, I turned and I asked my friend, I said, we have a beer garden downtown, don't we? And they do people to come and perform a lot too. They said, yeah. And I said, oh, okay. I think he was just in Raleigh and we missed him. So is there like a different beer garden or were you in Raleigh
no,
at
it
the
definitely wasn't me. I haven't been to America yeah, since before COVID. So
Oh,
no,
wow.
it wasn't me.
That definitely wasn't you. Yeah, you were
Yeah.
tagged in a post and I was like, maybe
I need
there's
to look
another
that up.
beer garden.
Yeah.
That was really funny to me though. I was like, man, we totally missed him and we're just dang, that sucks. But never
No,
mind. No fault to me.
hopefully there'll be a time I will be there.
And when you do, you should invite me
Yeah,
and
I
we can
will.
do a little live stream.
Yeah, sounds good.
But yeah, is there anything else that you're kind of planning to do? I know, you just released a song, so it might be a ways away from now, but what's up?
Well, this year definitely want to release like a lot more than I previously have been. I feel like the song that just came out February now last month is was like the first original I released in like 6 months, I think. And I've done a couple of remixes in between then. But yeah, definitely want to like be consistently releasing originals definitely throughout this year. The aim is to have an EP come out in like August, September. I'm kind of like in the process. I think it's probably most producers like problem is you're kind of working on like 5 to 10 songs all at once. Some of them are obviously in the early stages. Some of them you just can't quite get them finished how you want them to sound. Um, and so it's kind of like, yeah, I'm working my way through those, and then hopefully they'll all be part of. I'm trying to make them sound a bit more like a cohesive collection of songs, because I feel like if you were to like listen through my Spotify catalog or whatever, the genres kind of switch up, and it's there's no like signature sound, I would say, to the productions that have kind of up to this point. So I'm definitely trying to nail down a bit more of a consistent sound that is like a bit more recognizable, that people can kind of see that I have a new song out and they already can half predict the style it might be in, or that kind of thing. Because it's like a lot of the big artists I listen to, or like my favorite artists, they have such a unique style, and it doesn't have to be something like groundbreaking. It can just be as simple as like a certain kick drum or like a drum pattern or an effect or whatever it might be, or a certain synth, and they just kind of make it their own and go with it. So I definitely want to kind of incorporate that, something like that, into this year's music.
That's really fun. Hello, wait, my brain just stopped working. I'm sorry. No, that's really cool. I really have fun when there's a lot of different genres in one go, because I'm one of those people who just listens to my liked songs on shuffle.
Yeah,
So I'm
it's the
used to the
same.
musical whiplash. And but on the same note, I think it's really cool, like the building your own style. Is there a specific, I guess, version would be the right word, that you've kind of wanted to lean towards?
I mean, well, I start every song with with chords, more or less. Sometimes I might have a vocal to work from, sometimes I won't. But yeah, once that kind of like, once the chords kind of hit the right emotion that I'm going for, that's when I'm like, right, yes, we're off and running here, and I can, develop it into a full song, I guess. So yeah, like the most recent song, The Moment, that came out, like I feel like that has the right kind of emotion that I wanted out of the song, but is also like, really upbeat, fast paced. It kind of like, there's a good energy to it. It would work in a DJ set. It would work on the radio, because it's kind of like, you know sometimes I feel like I pick one lane or the other. Like I either pick the kind of commercial dance route, or something like a bit heavier that I don't really expect to get played on the radio. So I felt like this kind of nicely fitted in between the two. Um, but yeah, for me, definitely, it always just starts with like the emotion, or once you just get that kind of little weird hair on the back of your neck stand up, and you're like, right, yes, this is the feeling that I'm going for in the song.
Snaps for the vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but that does sound like a lot, especially if you're making multiple songs, multiple track lists all at once. I mean, have you ever experienced burnout with your music?
I don't think I have. No, I think I'm early enough in my music career that if I was burnt out, it would be a big issue. I've there's a lot more that I want to do and achieve. So yeah, burnout this early on would be, obviously you go through phases of creativity, and there's
Right.
times when you struggle getting inspired and things like that. But I don't know. I feel like it's the kind of cliches, or the classic kind of taking a break from a song for a few hours, few days, what, even weeks, if it needs to be, work on something else, like take your mind off it. All those kind of cliches do work, to be fair. I've listened to a lot of music podcasts, and every artist producer goes through phases of it, so it's part and parcel of it. No one is inspired exactly as they want to be every single day that of their life. Everyone goes through phases of it. So yeah, you just have to still try be productive in some shape or form when you're going through it. And then there's other times where, like, you jump out of bed and you just can't wait to get the ideas out, because you're just full of the like buzz for it, and the kind of, yeah, it's just like the best thing in the world when it's going well.
That's really fun. Yeah, I think I would need a nap.
Well, yeah.
I like to, do one thing at a time. I'm bad at breaks. So
Yeah.
I would need a nap. Snaps to you. But that's really fun. What podcast specifically are you listening to right now that's kind of, I guess, giving you the tips? Is that what it is?
Um, there's a great one called the Help Musicians podcast, and it's kind of specifically aimed at people who are like, maybe like just gone full-time musicians, or that kind of area. Like, maybe like a headline show for them would be like a couple of hundred people, or they're starting to get a bit of traction, or that sort of thing. Like they're not fully set up and established names yet. Which, yeah, I feel like that podcast is nicely aimed at the the stage I'm at. And then there's another great one called the Will Clark podcast. He's an artist based in the UK that's been around for years. He interviews some really really interesting and well established producers, like even music industry people, like heads of particular labels or managers and things like that. And it's just a kind of all round interesting podcast. And yeah, then there's one, Tape Notes, which is very like specific to producers, and again, and would get very deep on the technical side of it. There's an episode, this week's episode is Fred again on it, and like I feel like I need to watch that 10 times and hopefully pick up all these random techniques and plugins and software that he uses. And yeah,
they're like detailed. That's really fun.
Well, yeah, each of those three podcasts, I guess, goes into like a different kind of aspect of the music world. But yeah, I just try to consume it all, but it's impossible.
I mean, it's kind of like when you read a book for a second time, there's always going to be something you never noticed before. So I think the same thing can be said about podcasts, and that's part of the fun in it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I've definitely gone back and re-listened to ones that I've particularly found useful. I'm like, this, if I found certain segments of it useful, there probably is something else at a different part of the episode that I might have missed out on.
Yeah, that's fun. I love a good podcast.
Yeah. What would your favorite ones be?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on here. It's gonna sound bad when I say it, but it's not about what you think it's gonna be about. It's very like feminist, things we can do in our world, things we can do to help ourselves get like higher in our career despite the things working against us. But it is called Call Her Daddy. And
oh yeah. I know.
But I do really love that podcast because it's very much, these are the things you can do to help yourself, even though you might be in a male dominated area. And so I really love things like that, especially because I very likely will be entering a male dominated area. So yeah. I think it's really interesting to kind of hear things you can do.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm very familiar with the podcast. I've definitely listened to episodes myself. And
okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, if it helps people out and kind of gets you prepared, or even just gives you the motivation
just, like,
to
out.
Yeah nice.
No, I've mentioned it to people who had never heard it before, so that's kind of why I started with listen.
No, I mean
so I felt the need to go ahead and preface just in case. But no, I love stuff like that. Kind of on topic, but kind of off topic as well. What was your specific I want to go into EDM, I want to make music like this moment?
Probably the first ever DJ gig that I went to was Avicii and Hardwell. Hardwell was a support act and Avicii was like the headliner.
Yeah.
It was, I'm trying to think what year it was. I was maybe like 15. So it was a long time ago. And yeah, probably that gig. We were like with my friends, we were literally like front row, burst our eardrums. Like it was just so loud. But yeah, no, I know it was before that time. I would always wear earplugs now at gigs. But yeah, and then that kind of it was on that sort of rise of dance music in the kind of 2010 era, I want to say. The gig might have been like 2009. Yeah, it was definitely a long time ago.
Like 4.
Yeah. But I don't know what age I was at the time. I was probably early teens or something. But yeah, that just got my like fascination with dance music up and running. And then I kind of started DJing around that age as well, maybe on the back of that gig or that kind of year. Got into DJing, and then producing kind of came maybe 2 years after DJing. I was like, I want to actually be playing out my own songs as opposed to other people's songs. So yeah, it's all kind of naturally progressed like that, I guess.
Wow, that's really cool. We play Avicii a lot here too, and I guess it's all always connected, so that's really fun. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a long time ago, so you might not remember that was not meant to be a year old joke. I'm sorry. Uh,
I am old.
not that old. You still look very young. Maybe
Yeah,
not
I'm in my
gray
30s
or
now.
anything.
Yeah.
But do you remember like any specific songs from the show that you went to?
Um, I'm gonna say it was maybe like Silhouettes or like I don't specifically remember him playing it, but I
Yeah.
don't think Levels had come out anyway. It was before that kind of couple of years. So yeah, I just remember at the time he had so many good songs that were like not in the like radio dance world at that point, but just again so melodic, so like Swedish in like nature. Um and yeah, like artists, other Swedish artists at the time, like Swedish House Mafia probably hadn't formed back then, or certainly hadn't been releasing regular stuff. But like Axwell, Steve Angelo, Sebastian Ingrosso were still at the kind of forefront of dance music at the time.
Right.
Um, so yeah, just I just remember being fascinated with Swedish music and Swedish artists. But yeah, back to on your question, I can't specifically think of a single song
Okay, it
that
was
was played at the time that really was like
so
that goosebump moment. But I'm sure there was plenty.
that's really fun. Sorry, I'm hearing background noise and I have trouble focusing. My
No
husband can
worries.
also hear the background noise.
No.
Well, that's really good for you. Um, I'm sorry, I keep the painting behind you. What is it?
It's I wouldn't even call it a painting. It's just like
I
a
mean, I know it's a
canvas
leaf,
from
like
from
I got that
Amazon.
line.
No, I wish there was a backstory to it, but I just felt like the room needed some sort of decoration, and it was a it was on Amazon.
Oh gosh, I have those in my room
I
too.
really, yeah,
Very
I
cute.
wish there was like some niche, painter that was like I bought it directly from them or something. But
I mean, I
I
figured,
did like the
you
color of
got
it.
bored one day and you were like, I'm gonna paint something for my room because I
Yeah,
do that all the time, so why not?
yeah.
And I was just prepared for you to say, yeah, I got bored one day and I painted it all by myself. Isn't it so cutie? It's gonna be like, yeah, of course. But yeah, no,
No, sadly
I kept
not.
the like focal point almost right behind your
Yeah.
head, so I just wanted to know.
No, I do like it though. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it is really nice.
thanks.
Sorry, I just distracted myself from my next question because a painting caught my attention. Anyway, so kind of going from your first show that you went to, what about key moments from the first show you did?
Um, well, I would say my early kind of DJ gigs were all like I wasn't as an artist, if that makes sense. I was just DJing in nightclubs around Dublin. And to be fair, at the time, I would have been like 15, 16. So it was like these underage school disco nights that like all my friends would go to. They'd be on like the midterm break of school.
That's so
It was
cool.
like it was, to be honest, that was when my career peaked, to be honest. But it was
That's
just
so
like,
fun though. We don't have
oh
underage clubs here.
yeah, well, I guess with the underage, I guess you guys can't drink till you're 21 legally either.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were kind of, yeah, it would just be like, let's say a nightclub in the city center would open from like 7 till 11 as like the junior disco night, and then it would close and then maybe open from 11 p.m. onwards for like their normal nights. But it was just your first experience of like big nightclubs and that kind of thing. So yeah, I kind of got lucky at the time and was doing regular gigs through in those sort of places. And um so yeah, I don't really like, I obviously certainly wasn't an artist or producing or releasing music back then. So it's kind of like a different style of gig, I guess. Like even nowadays, it's yeah, you can always go to like certain bars that you know there's going to be like music that you like, but you're not necessarily there because there's a certain DJ that you like. So yeah, it's a totally kind of separate skill set to being an artist, where you're like kind of performing, and it's all your own songs, and people have bought tickets to see you, kind of thing.
That's cool. But it's still like a, foot in the door.
Oh yeah, like it's definitely an
I think
experience.
that's a
Like
really fun starting point.
yeah, no,
So
100%. It
how'd you
was, as I
start your
said.
EDM career? I played at the underage nightclubs, and that was how I started when I was like 15 years old.
Well, I mean,
Be
yeah,
like,
you have to.
oh, okay.
Everyone has to have their first gigs, and like at the time, I probably felt like I was at the main stage of a festival, you know.
Well, yeah, and I
um,
mean, why not?
yeah,
Don't sell yourself short.
yeah, yeah, true.
Do you have any upcoming gigs like that
Yeah,
you
I'm
announced
actually.
yet?
It's St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday,
Yeah.
and so I'm playing in an Irish bar in London called Howl at the Moon, which is like this. I played there on Paddy's Day last year, and it was like
Yeah, I
it's a
saw your
small.
last year's tag.
It was like small. It's this small Irish bar, but like they just kind of anything goes, and like they let people stand up on the tables, and like it just gets so
I
busy
want
and
to
so
come.
hectic. It is like one of the most fun nights of the year. But yeah, can't wait for that, just because also it's on a Tuesday this year, St. Patrick's Day. So I feel like it will be like hectic, but like full of Irish people, if that makes sense. Whereas last year I did this Saturday, and I feel like it was just the pub would have been busy on a Saturday anyway, so it was kind of like diluted down a little bit. You couldn't tell who was there specifically for Paddy's Day and who was there because it's like their local pub and they just wanted a
Right.
night out. Um, but yeah, I'm playing there for like 3 hours on Tuesday night. Um,
You should make a remix that every now and again pulls in parts of the Lucky Charms commercial with his like, pot of gold and
yeah,
marshmallows because it's St.
yeah,
Patrick's Day and that's my only version of a leprechaun that I can think of at the
I don't
moment.
know.
It's not
Yeah,
um
and the thing is, I don't think
this
Irish people would
movie.
appreciate that as much.
What? Really? I think
American crowds would love it.
I think
Yeah,
that would be so funny.
yeah, Irish. Yeah, who knows?
Oh
If
no,
I
that's
do a Paddy's Day in Ireland, in the
well, don't
US.
do it if they're gonna get mad at you. Never mind. I think of St. Patrick's Day and my first thought is obviously Lucky Charms. And then this St. Patrick's Day movie that Disney put out, I mean, years ago that nobody ever remembers was called Luck of the Irish. And the only reason it's one of my favorites is my favorite show, which is also a show that nobody really ever seems to know about, but it's Psych. And in
Yeah.
Psych, there's this you know it?
No, I
Oh,
don't.
it's on Amazon Prime. Please go watch it. It's also on Peacock. There's like four different Psych movies because every couple of years the cast goes, guys, I miss you. I want to make a movie. And they make a movie because just for the heck of it. Um, but it's really good. I highly recommend it. Please go watch
Okay.
it. It's awesome. But really and I've been watching it since I was really young because it's kind of an all ages show, adults, kids, whatever. Um, and one of the main characters was like the bad guy. He was the bad leprechaun in the Disney movie. And so I was just sat. And I still watch it every year specifically because I see the evil leprechaun. I'm like, that's Lassiter.
It's
And
bad.
so that's what I think about every Irish Day. Leprechaun
Say
Day.
Paddy's Day.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
I'm so
got there in the
excited
end.
for spring break. This has been not loading a lot. But yeah, anyway, we can get off. Um, is there anything else? Have you done festivals lately? I know that you did one, I think, before COVID, if I'm remembering my dates correctly. But have you done one
Yeah, I
recently
mean,
or anything?
I haven't done, or I'm trying to, yeah, do more. That's definitely like part of one of my goals for this year. Now, obviously, like festival season kind of starts, like I guess from like May onwards. So, most of those lineups are kind of already confirmed. But I feel like there's, um, yeah, there's some good festivals in Ireland that would have like smaller stages where they're quite good for supporting Irish acts.
Alright.
Those sort of stages you see at festivals where it's like a Smirnoff stage or Red Bull, that kind of thing. Where like it tends to be like a drinks company that are just like hosting a small tent or something like that. So yeah, I definitely would love to be playing these festivals. I still feel like I maybe don't have the enough music. Like I would love to do like a full 90 minutes set of all my own music and not have to maybe dig back to like songs I released 10 years ago to fill up that 90 minutes. So again, it kind of links with the goal of releasing a lot more consistently this year, that hopefully going into next year that there's like I can kind of have more of a live show, I guess, or be something that feels more like a performance, where I can actually just do a full set of my own music. So yeah, there's I've no festivals coming up this year, although I'll definitely do like my own kind of gigs. I did one of them in November, just gone, and yeah, absolutely loved it. Like the buzz you get from it is so good. And like that was just like a free event that me and my Aussie producer friend Carda, we just like booked this venue in London and made it free.
That's awesome.
So definitely want to do stuff like that, and line it up with releases, when a song comes out, or certainly when like the EP is finished and being released, I'll do some sort of like show on the back of it. And yeah, in the meantime, we'll have these kind of ones like the one on the weekend where it's just going to be a fun night, and I'll play my own music, but I'll also play Irish themed St. Patrick's Day music.
That's so fun. I do really hope that you're able to kind of hop into some of the festivals. Even
Yeah, I
like the
mean,
small ones you're talking about, I think stuff like that is so fun, and I've been trying to go for a while. And even more so, even if it's a couple of years from now, because I've heard Breakaway is crazy, but you should totally come to Breakaway in Charlotte.
yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah,
Because I mean, it's so big. Like, that's why I've not been yet, because it's so, so big. It's almost hard to even go as a guest.
yeah,
So, but they do small artists during it too. So I think it's a really interesting
yeah,
festival that you should come to, so we can come and see you IRL.
yeah.
Um,
100%. Yeah, that's the goal. I
yeah,
mean,
that's
every festival needs smaller artists. It can't all be headliners, otherwise
exactly.
there'd be no budget to book anyone
Yeah.
else.
There'd be no guests because who could afford to go?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I'd imagine that would get really expensive.
yeah. So yeah,
Well, is there
fun.
any other specifics that you want to share?
Um, Not that I can think of, in what sense.
I know we have talked about possible new music and possible new shows, um, and possible even like styles.
Yeah, I mean everything. Yeah, everything there sounds very hypothetical, but it will
Hey,
it
there's
will.
no such all hypotheticals can become possible. I'm like a talking fortune cookie. Um, I'll give you your fortune. Just tell me what you want to hear. I'll give you a fortune. Um, but no, just any like I love a good fun fact. If there's any silly little fun fact about yourself or a two truths and a lie, what you got?
Um, Fun fact. Oh, I feel like I'm put on the spot here now. I can't. I'm definitely gonna go
I can
blank.
give you mine if you want. Like,
Yeah, go for it.
okay. So in terms of two truths and a lie, I have my basic. It's I love Taco Bell. I have a well, technically I have three, but I have my just like came from my womb cat. I love her with my whole heart, and I've been told that I look just like her. Um, and I take that to be a compliment. If like somebody says I look like my cat, I must be gorgeous because my cat is beautiful. And then I swear, like, my favorite shoes are Doc Martens. I don't care what anybody says about them being impractical and that they hurt your feet. I love Doc Martens.
So one of them is a lie.
Yes.
I think the Doc Martens, because I always hear people say
I
how
hate
sore they
Taco
are.
Bell.
You hate Taco Bell? Okay.
That was my lie, is that I like Taco Bell. I hate Taco Bell. I love my Doc Martens. I don't care that they hurt my feet. They're so cute.
To be honest, yeah,
I'm
I've
really
heard
just
both sides
picky
of it.
about tacos. I've been told that I offend the entire Mexican community by my friend who is a Mexican because I refuse to go to Taco Bell because I was raised to put mayonnaise on my tacos, and you can't ask for that at Taco Bell. So I just can't go.
Fair, yeah. Well, what would you have instead? Sour cream or something?
Yeah, sour
Is
cream
that
is
more
what's
acceptable?
supposed to be on there,
Yeah.
and not mayonnaise, but like I don't like sour cream, and so when I was like 2 years old, people started putting mayonnaise on my tacos, and I've been told that I offend cultures. So I can't go I'm not welcome at Taco Bell.
Fair enough. Well, yeah. I mean, at least with food, I feel like there's a bit of everyone's gonna have a food that they hate that is like
Yeah.
someone's gonna question it, like
Yeah.
something that everyone else likes, but only you feel like you hate. So yeah, I feel like that's allowed.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've thought of one for me would be that I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. And I am 31 years old. I have had espresso martinis, so that's maybe put an asterisk on it.
That's a little
But
bit.
even then I've had the bare like single figures amount of espresso martinis. I've never had a normal cup of coffee. But yeah, I'm sure I'll start someday.
My question
I do have a lot of cup of tea. Or sorry, I do have lots of cups of tea. I would have like
Okay.
4 a day.
That makes it a
So
little bit better because like you're in the UK. But the caffeine, no
I
caffeine
know.
addiction? Question mark at the end.
Yeah, I guess not. But
Wow.
yeah. Well, there's caffeine in tea, but I don't think I'm addicted to it.
Yeah, that one I don't feel like it's quite as much either.
Yeah.
And I thrive on coffee.
No, to be fair, that is the norm. Again, this is a bit like food, it's
Yeah,
just
see,
something.
thank you.
It's not that I see. It's not even that I don't like
Full
it.
days
It's
with just 7 cups of coffee, and
yeah,
like I don't need to eat. I've had 7 cups of coffee today.
yeah. Well, that's part of my reasoning for avoiding it is that I feel like everyone I know is dependent on it, and I
Yeah.
don't have that dependency yet. So I kind of
You know what? Good job for you. You're doing a great job.
someday, next time, yeah. Next time we
Round of
speak, I'll be on my 4th cup of coffee of the day, and I'll be a full-on addict.
Hey, have you seen Gilmore Girls?
I have.
Okay,
I wouldn't say
you'll be
I've
the next
seen.
Lorelai.
Yeah. Wait, does she not drink coffee?
No, I said you can be.
What do you mean by that? I can't think of what her. Does she
No,
not work at the
Gilmore-
coffee shop?
No, that's Luke. That ends up
Oh,
being
sorry.
Roseanne
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
Lorelai's the one who's like, coffee, 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 give me now.
Oh yes.
You know? Yeah. I watch a lot of TV.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good show.
That's Warren. Check out his latest single with Hitch called The Moment wherever you listen to your new music. And don't forget to follow WolfBytes Open Mic wherever you listen to your podcasts. Don't forget, I'm Brooklyn, and we'll see you next time on WolfBytes Open Mic.